Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode. We really appreciate you joining us. This podcast really shows us how we can all learn, live, and thrive off of each other. By sharing our knowledge through our conversations, we will impart some knowledge whilst learning ourselves how to progress even further. Here is your host.
Thanks, Chelsea. Hi, everyone. Carlos Almeida here once again. Welcome back to the IntraCast Show. First of all, let me apologize because we had some technical issues over here and can't post the episode for a while. By the way, on our episode today, we will talk about a triple recap because of that issues I said before. UFC 251, UFC Fight Night on Wednesday or Thursday, depends where you on the globe, and this UFC Fight Night Figueiredo versus Benavidez 2. First of all, let's talking about the UFC 251, the two women's fight. Ribas get a quickly armbar against Paige Van Zandt. What a performance. She was so tight. She was so impressive. I'm impressed with Ribas' performance. Not because I don't know her potential, but because it was so quickly and so tight. Props for to Amanda Ribas for that victory, and I can't wait to see Ribas on the octagon again. Another female fight, Rose Namajunas and Jessica Andrade, fight of the night. What a fight, ladies and gentlemen. If you didn't check this fight on full by 3 rounds, check this out. I'm sure you don't gonna regret. A really battle, 50K to each one because of the fight of the night. Rose got the victory, and probably after she faced the Chinese champion, I guess Dana White will be the trilogy against Jessica Andrade once again. And then we move to Petr Yan versus Jose Aldo. Aldo started with a powerful leg kicks on left legs, on Ian's left leg. And even in my thoughts, won the second round. But Ian resist that and applied so many good punches on Aldo's body and head. And on the last round, Ian showed vicious strikes, and the referee, Leon Roberts, waited too much to stop the fight, but finally stopped it at 324, if I'm not wrong. Ian is the new bantamweight champion. By the way, this belt was vacant before that fight, right? Now, the next fight for him, who makes sense in my mind, should be Marlon Moraes. Because Marlon won last fight when he faced off Aldo. Even if most of people I have asked, they said Aldo won. Anyway, let's see what's gonna happen in this division. But I think Marlon Moraes will be the next guy to face Petr Yan for the title shot. Our guest from the last episode and also today, Hisham Karim. As most of you probably know, he's one of the owners of TFF, Team Fight Fortress, based in Islamabad, Pakistan, and he's a coach of the team. He also gave us his thoughts about this title fight, and we will listen this right now.
UFC 251 post-review. I woke up a bit late, to be honest, and I was there in front of the television for Aldo versus Petr Yan. So I watched that fight from scratch. It was a barn burner, an amazing fight. Um, it just went both ways in so many ways. Like Aldo had his moments where he was like, doing good work with the kicks, and then he was doing really great work with his head movement. But a bit more, I guess, follow up was required. But it just that's what it said. There was like a lot of escape and evasion, like but there was like pretty less counterattack or the recounter. So yeah. But Jan, he stuck to his game. Phenomenal boxing, stuck to the boxing. His basic combination: the jab cross, the jab to the head cross, the body hook to the head, jab cross hook, or jab or liver shot, and all that sort of stuff. I mean, Aldo even tried his body shots, so they both exchanged. But eventually, relentless pressure, and then that young blood, like one of the probably a really tiny factory in there, but because we're not going to take everything away from Petrian. He's an amazing and phenomenal athlete and hardcore boxer. His introduction is being done as a boxer when he enters the cage. So hats off to Jan, as well as Jose Aldo for putting on the performance. But and we all saw, I think, I'm usually in a favor of a bit late stoppages, but that was a bit hard to see, where Aldo was curled up in turtle and then Jan was just wailing away at him, and the referee wasn't stepping in. I don't know. I mean, Aldo is, we all know, like he was the king for a long time of his division, and since the WEC days. So he didn't tap either, but I think there was a bit too much punishment was dished out. But all in all, a phenomenal fight. And then what showed that Petrian showed us that it's all about the basics, it's all about the fundamentals, and obviously it's all about and then on a more like a psychological level, I think he's hungrier as well. Yeah, that's that.
Thanks, Etishan. As always, you are amazing in your analysis. And then we move to Volkanovski versus Holloway for the featherweight title fight. A very, very close fight. In my thoughts, Max won the first and second round, but then Volkanovski returns and got the third one in the championship rounds. But as I said, it was a pretty close fight. Anyone can get this belt. But in my vision will be the Volkanovski. But even with these two defeats in a row against the same opponent, maybe Max Holloway can get that trilogy on that matter. But for now, Volkanovski is still the UFC featherweight champion. And our special guest, Etishan, what you want to say about the featherweight championship bout, please?
Alexander Volkanovski versus Max Holloway. Before I dive into giving my opinion on the result of the fight, let me just start with what I saw in there. I remember giving my last interview with the JJ Cafe podcast, and I said that Alexander Volkanovski has been claiming that he has made the right adjustments. It's about if Max Holloway is going to make the adjustments, and he definitely made the adjustments. He definitely played his kicking game. He usually used to fight using more of his legs as well sometimes. He's really proficient with the angle and the movement and the understanding of his basic tools and the kicks. But he just in the last fight maybe he decided to pull off another Brian Ortega on this guy. So obviously he scored up on the kicks, and this time Max used him to the full potential. Really hurt him there. Even in the striking exchanges when they were up close, there were a couple of rounds in there where there were moments where Alex really took it. He was landing, and he was definitely for a minute and a half, 2 minutes. He was in there a couple of times there where he was dominating the action, and obviously, but comparatively and clearly. So all in all, and then he just basically shut down Alex Volkanovski's entire thing as well with the takedowns. Yeah, he took him down, but what did he do with those takedowns? And then Max was up anyway. So I thought Max won as well. I was not thinking a split decision because it was it looked pretty clear. the round by round and the fight as a whole. It was pretty clear that Max was the winner, but I think the judges decided to give the champ a benefit of the doubt, and now he's the champion. But again, beautiful performance by Max, and he just totally, shut down Alex's game. That's what I just saw. That's what I saw. Alex had his moments there. He was there. Yeah, he showed, he's a high caliber athlete, but Max is Max, man. Blessed era.
Yes, my brother Etisham. As I said on my personal thoughts, it's a really, really close fight, and any winner will deserve the belt. But even if we have different insights, different opinions about this decision, both of us, we agree on that. It was an amazing fight. It's a truly title fight. So, Kamaru Usman versus Jorge Masvidal. You all know Masvidal got this fight with a 6-day notice, but he had incredible brave heart. He pushed that fight to 5 rounds. Usman had one more ridiculous and vicious performance, totally dominant, of course, on all that rounds, and keep his belt. We are in touch with Etisham, and he will say his thoughts about this title fight. Please, Etisham, go ahead.
So the next fight, Jorge Masvidal versus Kamaru Usman. Again, sort of for the more technical fans and for people who have followed Usman, I don't think there were any surprised, because that would have been the strategy, because as we all saw in the match, that Jorge was really, really quick with his stand-ups using the cage. And by the way, it was the same cage that Kamaru was, utilizing, was the main element in Kamaru Usman's strategy as well, because, you can't, you can't stand up and bang with Jorge Masvidal. So striking is out of the way. So you're going to try to shoot box and everything, fake your shots and try to enter. Taking him down was out of the question. Not really out of the question, but sort of at those moments, it was the tougher choice to make, because he was standing up, and his takedown defense on his feet is really, really excellent as well, Jorge Masvidal's. So then comes the third element, obviously the cage. So what he did was he pinned him against the cage long enough and positioned himself. Really, obviously, there's positionally he won there. That's why both of these guys were able to do a lot of damage, as we all saw in the clinch. Whatever the cumulative both of their attacks was, but there was solid attacks. But it was Kamaru Usman that was less tired, that was the guy that worked less. Jorge Masvidal was the guy that worked more and got tired and got gassed over the period of next rounds. So it was obviously a win-win strategy for Usman. Obviously, everybody has their own way of handling with the cage. Some people will push against the cage and thigh clinch or elbows and knees and beat the shit out of you. Some people will try to press you against the cage and take you down in some way and then keep you down. And then if you can't do either, obviously then the third strategy, obviously, which is more sound and a bit less entertaining to watch, but it's really educational as well from a fence fighting perspective, is the thing that Usman did with Jorge Masvidal. Just put on a clinic as well. Usman wasn't that tired. Jorge Masvidal was tired out of his ass. 6 days notice, yes, but let's not forget that Jorge Masvidal is already performing, and he's been doing this for the past 16 years on such a level that, and he's not one to be known for doing other stuff, right? So he's always staying in shape, and he's always proved it. So and he was way tired, let's all face it. Even if it was 6 days notice, it was way too tired, way too early for Jorge Masvidal himself. So really technical fight by Usman, and obviously he showed a lot of heart, and he showed a lot of grit as well, because Jorge hit him with some really nice shots in there. He landed some really nice shots on Jorge as well. It was just all in all a good fight to watch, but Usman is the king for a reason. And I don't know why this guy has been flying under the radar for such a long time. We should have known about this guy. The world knew about Conor since his Marcus Brimage fight. That's where the hype train started immediately. But why is it taking so long with this guy? It doesn't matter who or what he is or what he does outside the cage. Our concern is, as fans, with him as an athlete, his performance in the cage that he puts on in front of us. So I think he needs more spotlight on him. But obviously, even the pay-per-view numbers show that Jorge Masvidal was the guy that racked in the more numbers in terms of pay-per-views. So definitely, despite a loss, Jorge is the star of this match.
Thanks again, Etchan, for that amazing review of fights from UFC 251. I know our listeners really will appreciate your thoughts. You are so on point. You are so clinical on your analysis. So stay safe, brother. Stay healthy. And then, guys, we move to the next event, ESPN 13. On the main event, we had Calvin Kattar. He defeats Dan Ig by unanimous decision. After 5 rounds, Kattar got his hand raised, and Ig was with unrecognizable face. The New Englander beat out his opponent by 49-46, 49-46, and 48-47, atop of Fight Island to take his first UFC main event victory. About the last event we're gonna talk today, UFC Fight Night Figueiredo versus Benavidez 2. What a event, guys. If you don't check the full event, please do it. You don't gonna regret as well, as I said about Namayunas and Andrade. About co-main event, Hermansson versus Gastelum. Number 7 on middleweight, Hermansson submit the number 6, Calvin Gastelum, with a heel hook in the very first round. In his post-fight interview, he called for the winner of the upcoming Robert Whittaker and Darren Till matchup. As we know, on the next weekend will gonna happen. What a performance from Hermansson. Is like ADCC heel hook, and of course Gastelum tried to push him with his boxing, but Hermansson had a very nice approach and he defended himself properly and then applied that heel hook. Amazing. And on the main event, Figueiredo versus Benavidez. After all COVID stuffs with Davison Figueiredo, he did. At 4:48, also on the very first round, he choked Joe Benavidez unconscious in a really good sequence of knockdowns and put all pressure. He worked like a truck over Benavidez, and this time has no doubts, has no issues, has nothing. He is truly the best guy in the division. Best performance ever for Figueiredo inside the UFC octagon. Left all that controversy about the first fight between them and show his full potential, and most important, with the weight on point. And he said he will never lose to the scale again. Very nice. Keep it up, champ. And last but not least, next weekend will take place the last event of this Fight Island trip in Yas Island, Abu Dhabi. UFC Fight Night Whittaker versus Till, with an incredible card. I can't wait as well. Just to name a few fights on that event, Fabricio Verdun versus Gustafsson. As heavyweight bout, Gustafsson will debut on that division in UFC. Also, Mauricio Shogun Rua versus Antonio Minotauro Nogueira. One more time. Every time these guys go to the battle is a promise of amazing fights. So stay very close to the TV, to your screen or whatever, because if you blink, you're gonna lose something. You're gonna miss this fight. They will be on the co-main event, and the middleweight for the main event, 5-minute round, will be Robert Whittaker versus Darren Till. As we said, Hermansson called this a winner of this fight for the next fight. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this podcast. My apologize once again because we are not on time with the news, but as I said, we had a little technical issues over here. But I hope you can enjoy this episode and stay with us. Very soon we're gonna bring to you another news and another thoughts, insights, and all about our fight world. Okay, so stay tuned and see you on the next episode.
Loved what you've heard on this week's episode? Well, the answer is simple. It would mean the world to us if you could head over to iTunes and leave us a 5-star review and feedback. Spreading the word really is the best way to grow our podcast and achieve even greater things. Thank you.